ki jai. Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. Rupanuga Guru Vargya ki jai. Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswata Acharya Brinda ki jai. Samadaita Vaishnava Mandali ki jai. Harinama Sankirtan ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari Bom. So we are welcome everyone to our regular Sunday afternoon talk and broadcast from the East London branch, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mad London chapter. And as we've been doing for the past few weeks, we are studying and discussing the foundational books of our mission that are produced from the talks of our founder Acharya, Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj. We are studying the second book, which is Sri Guru and His Grace. And last week we were discussing separation from Sri Guru. And this week, the chapter is called the chapter is called Nam Guru and Mantra Guru. So someone's asked Guru Maharaj this question. I have heard that one has an eternal connection with the spiritual master who first initiates one into the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the Harinam Guru. Does he have a similar connection with the Mantra Guru? Guru Maharaj says, yes. We may see it as similar with a slight difference. Student asks, some devotees who took Harinam initiation from Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada later took their Gayatri Mantra initiation from one of his disciples. Can you explain the distinction between the two initiations and how a disciple should view his relationship with two different spiritual masters? This is Guru Maharaj's reply. The first importance should be given to the Nam Guru, or the Guru who initiates one into the chanting of the holy name of Krishna, and second to the Guru who gives initiation into the Gayatri Mantra. The Diksha Guru, initiating spiritual master, must be shown respect, and then all the other disciples of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. But first honor must be shown to Prabhupada, who is the Nam Guru, the Guru of the Guru. The second honor will go to the Diksha Guru, and then to the rest, accommodating all. They should all be recognized according to their status. Jiva Goswami has written that the name of Krishna is the principal thing in the Gayatri Mantra. Within the mantra there are also so many other words, but the name is the most important. If the name of Krishna is taken away and replaced with some other name, the whole thing will be rotten. This is the decision of Jiva Goswami. The holy name of Krishna is all in all. The holy name of Krishna is there in the Gayatri Mantra, and so many other words are couched there. But if Krishna's name is taken away and replaced with the name of Shiva, then the whole thing will go to Shiva. The holy name is the all-important factor. The holy name of Krishna is so important that even the Gayatri Mantra may not be necessary. It is said, No diksham na chasat kriyam, nacha purush charjam manag ikshate, mantro jam rasana sprig eva, falati Sri Krishna namatmakaha. In the Padyabali, one need not undergo all the purificatory processes or follow the 6 ritualistic ceremonies mentioned in the Vedas for pious life. One need not even take initiation into the Gayatri Mantra. If one simply chants the holy name of Krishna without offense, everything will be successful. The holy name of Krishna is the most important consideration. The Gayatri Mantra may not even be necessary. We accept the mantra only to help Nam Bhajan. the worship of the holy name. Otherwise, it may not be necessary at all. It has been judged in such a way. The name alone can do everything for a person. It is full and complete. The mantra helps us to do away with the aparads, offences, and the abhas, or hazy conception, in our bhajan. The mantra comes to help us only so far. An example is given of a larger and smaller circles. The holy name of Krishna is the large circle. It extends from the highest to the lowest. The mantra circle is a smaller circle within that large circle. The mantra means the Gayatri mantra. The mantra cannot reach to the lowest point. The holy name can extend itself down to the lowest position. The mantra gives us entrance into liberation, and then the name carries us further. This is the nature of our connection with the mantra and the name. The name extends to the lowest position, to the chandalas and javanas. Everyone can receive the name, but everyone is not eligible for the Gayatri mantra. Only after one has reached a developed stage can the mantra be conferred upon him. And the mantra's jurisdiction will be finished when liberation is attained. In Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said, Krishna mantra hoite habe, samsara mochana, Krishna nama hoite pabe, Krishnera charana. The Krishna Gayatri mantra liberates one from repeated birth and death in this world. The holy name of Krishna gives one shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. The Gayatri mantra helps us achieve liberation, and then the mantra retires. After giving liberation, the mantra is finished, but the name will continue all along, from the lowest to the highest. In chanting the name, there is no mention of any petition. It is an address only. We shouldn't chant with the mentality that I want this. We must simply chant the name spontaneously. That will encourage goodwill in us. So because the function of the mantra is limited, but the name is all important, the Nam Guru will be honored first, and next the Mantra Guru, and then the other Vaishnavas. Then the devotee asks, how should a devotee who has taken second initiation from a godbrother regard his godbrother as godbrother or guru? Guru Maharaj's reply, it is inconceivably simultaneously one and different. Generally, that godbrother will be seen as guru according to the disciple's present stage. But if the disciple transcends and goes to his previous history, then he will see him more as a godbrother. But generally, in his present stage, he will see him as guru, and in the background, godbrother. Student asks, you said the Harinam mantra continues after the liberated condition. So does the Gayatri mantra guru continue any activity with the devotee beyond the point of liberation? Guru Maharaj's reply, when he returns to the spiritual world, even the chanting of the holy name will be in the background, and the function of performing other services will come in the foreground. When one enters the Lord's domain, he will be given some function there in the service of Krishna, and that will be very conspicuous and prominent. At that time, the name will be in the background. When one goes to a particular group in a particular rasa, like Sakya rasa, then he will be given a specific duty under a group leader like Subal or Baladev. His service will have the first importance, and the name will be in the background, helping, energizing. And there all will be seen as guru, but still there is a hierarchy. It is a family life. The guru's guru is there, but the disciple will work under his own boss, who has his boss. He will receive direction from his immediate superior. In this way, the hierarchy is there, and the disciple will gradually be transformed by that sort of function. Everyone is under some servitor, and their immediate duty will be to attend that servitor and his orders. Then the devotee asks, many devotees cannot understand how it is that someone can have two gurus. Guru Maharaj's reply, that is because they're situated in a formal position. But when they enter into the substantial spiritual realization, they will not have such a grievance because they will see what is Guru. Guru means one who has come to give Krishna consciousness. The formal difference will be reduced when one can catch the very substance of the teachings for which the Guru is respected. When one is intimately connected with the thread of divine love, which the Guru comes to impart to us, he will accept it, wherever it comes from. He will see it as a friendly relation, not antagonistic, but cooperative. Although separate in figure, at heart both Gurus are the same because they have a common cause. They have not come to fight with one another. They have come to fight only with the agents of Satan. If we can recognize the real thing for which we are approaching the Guru, then we will understand how to make the adjustment in our relationship with the Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, and Vartmana Pradakshak Guru. We are infinitely indebted to all our Gurus. We are helpless. What can we do? They are benevolent and they are infinitely gracious. They are my guardians. I may have many guardians. They are to look after my welfare. They have not come to destroy me. And the devotee asks, Krishna descends with his associates, friends, and paraphernalia. Is this true of the Guru also? Guru Maharaj says, yes, but his associates were mostly recruited. Very few may be his eternal company. Excuse me. Then that devotee asks, how will we recognize the Guru if he appears before us in another form or in a different body? Guru Maharaj's reply, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya argued that Sri Chaitanya Dev could not have been an incarnation. Gopinath Acharya told him, you do not know the Shastra. No, Sarvabhauma says. In the scriptures it is mentioned that the Lord does not appear in Kali Yuga, but only in 3 ages, and is therefore known as Trijuga. Gopinath Acharya replied, you think that you know so much about Shastra, but in Srimad Bhagavatam and Mahabharata, there is direct mention of the avatar of Kali Yuga. Have you no knowledge or no recognition of that? Sarvabhauma, apparently defeated, said, you go and take prasadam, and afterwards come and teach me. Excuse me. Then Gopinath said, not by the dint of one's study or intelligence can one understand God, but only through his grace. Atapi te deva padambuja dvaya prasada lisang grihita evahi. Then Sarvabhauma said, you say that you have that grace, and I do not? What's your reasoning behind this? You say that you have the grace of the Lord because you say that he is an incarnation. And because I can't give recognition to that, I have no grace? What is the proof of this? Gopinath Acharya replied, Acharya kohe vastu vishaye haya vastu gyan. Vastu Tatwa jnana hoya kripate praman. It is evident that I have the grace of the Lord because I know him, and that you have not because you deny him. The answer to your question is given here. Our own inner experience, our internal satisfaction, our connection or acquaintance with reality is the real evidence. Nothing external can give any real proof. Our Guru Maharaj gave the example that if one is born in the darkness of a dungeon and someone proposes, let us go and see the sun, then the prisoner will carry a lantern in his hand saying, oh, you will show me the sun? Yes, come with me, leave your lantern behind. No light is necessary to see the sun. Are you trying to fool me? Nothing can be seen without the help of a light. His friend will catch him and forcibly take the prisoner into the sunlight. do you see the sun? And the prisoner will say, oh, this is the sun. By sunlight alone we can see the sun. One will have that sort of experience when he comes in connection with the truth. Neither calculation nor evidence nor witness, but only direct experience is proof that Krishna is there like the sun. In the Sriman Bhagavatam it is said, Atma Parigyana Mayo. What to speak of Krishna, even the conscious unit is self-effulgent. A certain section says, there is God, surely he exists. And others say, no, there's no God, he never existed. The quarrel is useless, and still it continues in a particular section. This argument will have no end. Those who have no eyes will be unable to see the sun. Then they will say there is no sun. Atma puri jnana mayo vivado. Hyastiti nyastiti bidarta nishtaha. Vyarto pi naivo parameta pungsham. Mataha parabritta diyam shvalokat. Persons without knowledge of the Supreme will argue whether this world is real or not. Their focus is always aimed at trying to understand the dualities of this material nature. Although such discussions are meaningless, for those who have turned away from me, these arguments will never end. So this misconception will continue for those who deny the existence of both the soul and the Supreme Soul. For those who have direct experience, however, there's no question, it exists. But for the owl section who cannot admit the existence of the sun does not exist. It is something like that. Our own realization of a thing will be the greatest proof of its existence. Vastu Tatwa Jnana Hoy Kripate Pramana. One may be born blind, but if somehow or other his eyes are opened, he will be astonished to see the particular aspects of the environment. But if one has no vision, he can see no color or figure. Those who have vision will feel, how can I deny the fact? I've seen it. I am feeling it. It is so magnanimous, so great, and so benevolent. I can't deny all these things. You are unfortunate because you cannot see. Some see, some cannot see. In the same place, one can see and another cannot. Those to whom Krishna wishes to reveal himself can see him. Others cannot. We're reminded of Bhaktivinoda Thakur when he had the vision of the Adbhut Mandir. He was staying in a Dharmshala in Mayapur. I think it was called the Rani Dharmshala or something. Anyway, he was staying there. And his son, Kamala Prasad, was with him. And from the roof of that Dharmshala, Bhaktivinoda Thakur had a vision of the Adbhut Mandir, of the birthplace of Mahaprabhu in the distance, like a great glowing light and temple. He saw all these things. And he was there, and family servant was also with him. And after the vision left, you can say, then he turned to his son, Kamala Prasad, and he said, did you see that? And Kamala Prasad said, yes, father, I saw that. And then they asked the servant, did you see that? And he said, what? See what? I didn't see anything. What are you talking about? So it's all about, as Guru Maharaj says, all rights reserved by him. Who he wants to show himself to, he will show.
Some like Arjuna in Kurukshetra.
Right.
This for whom he saw.
Yes. This is actually Guru Maharaj is going to speak about that. So, in the assembly of the Kurus, when Krishna went to Duryodhana's party with a proposal for peace between the Pandavas and the Kauravas, Duryodhana thought, now we have our golden chance. If we can put Krishna in the prison now, then the Pandavas will die broken-hearted, and there will be no question of fighting with them. The Kauravas also joined in the scheme, and they told Dushashan, Go and bind Krishna with this rope. Dushashan came with the rope in his hand and tried to bind Krishna. Satyaki, Krishna's attendant, was there, and he furiously came at Dushashan with a sword. But Krishna peacefully caught hold of his hand and began to manifest himself in such a way that it perplexed Dushashan. When Dushashan saw the universal form displayed by Krishna, he thought, "So many figures appearing before me. On whom shall I put the rope? Who shall I bind down?" So many figures were displayed by Krishna in his universal form. On one side there was Baladev, on another side stood Arjun, and so many revered rishis chanting Krishna's name. Dushashan was perplexed, and Bhishma and Drona began to sing in praise of Krishna. Everyone thought, "What is this? This is a magnificent vision with so many faces." The whole atmosphere was filled with the divine spirit. Then Devashi, Narad, and so many rishis began to chant in praise of Krishna, and in this way Krishna manifested his universal form before the assembly. Dhritarashtra was blind, but he could hear them all praising Krishna and thought to himself, "Some sort of wonderful thing is happening around me, but I can't see." And so he prayed to Krishna, "O Lord, for the moment, please remove my blindness. I would like to see your great manifestation. Afterwards, you can make me blind again, but at least for the time being, remove my blindness." Krishna told him, "There's no necessity of removing your blindness. If I say that you can see, then you can see." By the Lord's will alone, even physical blindness was no bar to seeing that great manifestation of Krishna. So the physical eye can't see God. Only the divine eye can see him. And by the will of Krishna, the divine eye was temporarily given to Dhritarashtra. His blindness didn't stand in the way of his vision, and he could see Krishna. The ability to recognize divinity descends from above. We cannot see God with our mundane senses. What to speak of being able to see the infinite? Our senses are so limited that our ears can only hear sound of a particular wavelength. We are told that the sun, the moon, and all the stars and planets are all revolving and creating a huge sound, but our ears cannot hear that high degree of ultrasonic sound, nor can we hear subsonic sound with our ears. Our eyes are designed to catch only a particular wavelength of light. We cannot see either ultraviolet or infrared light. Our material senses are limited to a particular plane of perception. Then that student asks, the Guru accepts the responsibility to take his disciples back to Godhead. So when the Guru departs, how does the disciple maintain contact with the Guru? Guru Maharaj's reply, you see, it comes to the same point. Who is Guru? And why is he Guru? Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu are one and the same thing, and we have to appreciate that. Otherwise, should we think that our onward march will be guaranteed only by the vision of our eyes? The photo of our spiritual master is not our Guru, although the photo has some connection with the real Guru. The eye experience and the ear experience of a person is not the whole experience. The real experience is through the words, the idea that the Guru has given, and that is Krishna consciousness. If I have a real interest in Krishna consciousness, I have to adjust all other things accordingly. Otherwise, if I miss the real thing that the Guru came to give me, everything will be dull, idol worship. To follow the form alone will be idolatry. There are so many human figures, and so why is he Guru? Because he is the mediator, a medium of divine knowledge. That is the criteria to be tested everywhere. Put this test anywhere and everywhere. What is the interest for which we came to Krishna consciousness? And what is Krishna consciousness? There is your Guru. He is Guru only because he is in Krishna consciousness. And there are different degrees of Krishna consciousness. So we must not make much of the form. Then that devotee asks, then why are there so many different religions in the world? Guru Maharaj replies, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Uddhava posed the same question. Why in the name of religion are there so many isms in the world? Will every ism that is found here independently take me to the goal, or is there any gradation? Krishna told him, when the creation began, I transmitted the truth of religion into the heart of Brahma, the creator, and from Brahma that came to his disciples. But according to the different capacity of those disciples, what they received was a little changed when they delivered it to others. When I gave it to Brahma, that knowledge was one. Brahma told his disciples, and when they received it in the soil of their heart, it entered, but with some modification. Again, when they gave delivery to their disciples, there was more modification. It became lost due to the vitiating nature of the mundane plane. One point is the difference in the receiver and another in the succession. So gradually the truth becomes modified, and now we see that the religious world is a jungle. Some give stress on penance, some on charity, some this, some that. So many branches of religion have sprung up, and antagonistic ascending opinions like atheism have also grown from the human mind to oppose those modified descending opinions. So now we find there is a jungle. Krishna appears now and then to re-establish the principles of religion. Jada jada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati. When religion becomes extremely degraded, Krishna comes again or sends his representative, tell him, go and set it right. There must be religious differences, but one who can catch the real internal meaning of the truth will be saved. Others will be misguided, and it will be a long time before they're delivered. Once having a real connection with a bona fide guru, he won't be lost. In this way, Krishna answered Uddhav's question in the 11th canto of Sriman Bhagavatam, and it is quite intelligible. It is neither unreasonable nor dogmatic. If we are sincere, we won't be lost. Every disciple cannot catch the real spirit of the advice of the Guru. There is a story. A Muslim mullah used to explain the Quran regularly. In his audience, one old lady used to take her seat in the corner, and as long as the mullah read the Quran, the lady would weep. Tears would run down her cheeks profusely, so much so that one day the mullah met the lady and asked her, what do you find in my lectures that you are so much impressed with? Whenever I cast my glance at you, I find your eyes are shedding tears profusely. What do you find in my lectures that moves you so? To this, the old lady replied, I had one she-goat and her beard was just like yours. When she took her food, she would move her head on the grass just as you move your head. You remind me of my dear she-goat. She was very affectionate to me. I can't stand to think of her without shedding tears. And for that purpose, I come to see your lecture. Krishna himself came and went, unrecognized by many. In the case of Jesus also, we find that Judas, one of his 12 disciples, was a traitor. Jesus said, disappointed, the one who will betray me is amongst the 12 of you. So should we think that because we have come to a great man, now we have attained everything, devoured everything? It is not such an easy thing. We have only a slight connection with the infinite, and we have to progress with that capital. To think that we have attained everything is rather the opposite feeling. One who is approaching towards the infinite will see more and more that he is nowhere. The symptoms will be the opposite. Still, of course, sometimes it is necessary to assert ourselves with courage on the strength of our faith. What I say is true. Newton was told by his contemporaries, "You have reached the highest zenith of knowledge." He made such a marvelous discovery that the people in his time thought that he was a sarvagya, a knower of everything. They thought that he had finished the whole world of knowledge. But Newton said, "I know better than you, because I conceive that I am just collecting pebbles at the shore of the ocean of knowledge. I see I am more learned than all of you, because you say I've finished all knowledge. But I know that the vast ocean of knowledge cannot be finished. I've only touched its shore. This much I know." So that is also an assertion, that I know more than you, because I know that knowledge cannot be finished. And you say that knowledge is finished. This is the nature of the infinite. One who is going to deal with the infinite must always be conscious of his weakness. Then only will he be able to draw light from the infinite. To understand the words of Gurudev is not very easy. Gurudev is infinite. In his words, he also deals with the infinite. We can't put it under limitation, thinking that we have finished what he wanted to give us. We are students, and we shall remain students forever. At the beginning of Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the very first few shlokas, Krishnadas Kaviraj says, "Vande Gurum." I offer my obeisances to my gurus, plural. And this is like a new conception given by Krishnadas Kaviraj. Not a new conception, but a more refined conception. Mostly people are caught in the formal idea. This is my guru. And they look at the photograph or the person or the circumstances surrounding that person. Sometimes we see here, people come here and we say, "Oh, you need to make connection with a genuine Vaishnava." And they, "Oh, I've got a guru, my family guru. I was initiated by my guru in such and such." But what kind of guru? Then what mantra they were given, what kind of conception were they given? So that's the formal side of it. And even maybe it is Krishna Guru, I don't know. But real Guru means who can give Dibya Gyan, who can give knowledge of the Absolute. Not just some formal, customary, like family formality. But rather, we are to try to find who is actually connected with Krishna substantially. And our formal acquaintance should not be an obstacle to that. So I cannot accept the guru in your line because I already have a guru from my family. No, not like that. What is really guru? So, and gurum, Krishnadas Kaviraj uses this word. Guru means plural. So it is true, one can only have one Diksha Guru, but one may have many Shiksha Gurus. And our whole Guru Parampara of Mahaprabhu, actually from Lord Brahma, is Shiksha Guru Parampara. It's not that every one mentioned in the Disciplic Succession was the disciple of the person before. There are many gaps. sometimes of maybe 300 years gap between this one and that one. And Guru Maharaj, well, I think in the next chapter, Guru Maharaj speaks about that. How, like in the scientific world, the line of thought that was given from Newton, generally considered next person who carried that is Einstein, who developed that, and then but there are many scientists in between Newton and Einstein who would have contributed to the scientific world of thought, but they're not given recognition generally in the history because their contribution is small. And so we find that also in our Guru Parampara. Where that line is flowing, that's where it's marked, where there's been some, like you can say, manifestation of some substance has come through that. It doesn't mean that all of the gurus in between are all of no value, but in the line of spiritual thought, they may not be given so much significance. So that's the next chapter, is called the Disciplic Succession, and it begins with the line of Disciplic Succession, Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Sampradaya. So now then a list is given here. This list was given by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Beginning with Bhagavan Sri Krishna, then Brahma, then Narad, then Vyasadeva, then Madhva Acharya, Padmanabha, Nrihari, Madhva, Akobhya, Jayatirtha, Jnana Sindhu, Dayanidhi, Vidyanidhi, Rajendra, Jayadharma, Purushottam, Brahmanya Tirtha, Vyasa Tirtha, Lakshmi Pati, Madhavendra Puri, Ishwara Puri, and Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan, and Swarup Damodar, Raghunath Das Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Narottam Das Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Baladev Vidyabhushan, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and then his followers, most prominently our Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami, and A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, and of course from them our Gurudev Srila Govinda Maharaj. So then Guru Maharaj, the devotee asked Guru Maharaj this question: can you explain how the principle of disciplic succession works? I was under the impression that in your teaching there must be an unbroken chain of disciplic succession, beginning with God himself, in order for the knowledge to be properly understood. But when I read Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is, I found that the disciplic succession contained only 38 names, although it says that the system is 50 centuries old. Is this a complete list, or are some names left out? How are we to understand these apparent historical discrepancies? So Guru Maharaj, his reply: our Guru Parampara, disciplic succession, follows the ideal, not the body. It is a succession of instructing spiritual masters, not formal initiating spiritual masters. In a song about our Guru Parampara written by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, it is mentioned, Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahayanya Rupa Nuga Janera Jivan. The highest truth of Krishna consciousness comes down through the channel of Shiksha Gurus, instructing spiritual masters. Those who have the standard of realization in the proper line have been accepted in the list of our disciplic succession. It is not a Diksha Guru Parampara or a succession of formal initiating gurus. Diksha or initiation is more or less a formal thing. The substantial thing is the shiksha, or the spiritual instruction. And if our shiksha and diksha gurus, or instructing and initiating spiritual masters, are congruent, then we are most fortunate. There are different gradations of spiritual masters. In the scriptures, the symptoms of the guru and the symptoms of the disciple have been described. The guru must be qualified in so many ways, and the disciple must also be qualified. Then when they come in connection, the desired result will be produced. We are concerned with Krishna consciousness, wherever it is available. In the Bhagavad Gita, and especially in Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna says, I start the Krishna consciousness movement, but gradually by the enervating influence of the material world, it weakens. When I find that it is diminished considerably, I return and begin a fresh movement. Again, when I find that it is becoming degraded by the adverse influence of the environment, I send one of my representatives to clear the path and give some fresh energy, invest some fresh capital in my Krishna consciousness movement. What is Krishna consciousness? We must examine the standard of knowledge. The guru should try to impart to his disciple the capacity of reading what Krishna consciousness really is. Krishna consciousness is not a trade. It is not anyone's monopoly. The sincere souls must thank their lucky stars that they can appreciate what Krishna consciousness is, wherever it may be. Then a devotee asked, how are we to understand that in the history of our disciplic succession, it appears that there are gaps where there was no initiating guru present to formally accept disciples? Guru Maharaj's reply, we're not concerned with the material connection. The mediator is not this flesh and body as we generally think. In studying the development of scientific thought, we may connect Newton to Einstein, leaving aside many unimportant scientists. We may trace the development of science from Galileo to Newton and then to Einstein, neglecting the middle points. If their contributions are taken into account, then the whole thing is taken into account, and lesser scientists may be omitted. When a long distance is to be surveyed, the nearest posts may be neglected. Between one planet and another, the unit of measurement is the light year. The distance is calculated in light years, and not from mile to mile or meter to meter. In the disciplic succession, only the great stalwarts in our line are considered important. Devotee asks, there was one question still in my mind on Guru Parampara, which is not clarified. Between Baladev Vijayabhushan and Jagannath Das Babaji is a gap of almost 100 years. How is it that between the two of them, no one is listed in our Guru Parampara? Guru Maharaj's reply, we have to forget material consideration when we consider the spiritual line. Here in this plane, the spiritual current is always being disturbed and interrupted by material obstructions. Wherever and whenever truth is interrupted by a material flow and becomes mixed or tampered with, Krishna appears to again reinstate the truth in its former position of purity. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. That attempt is always being made by the Lord and his devotees. The flow of spiritual truth is a living thing, not a dead thing. The vigilant eye of the Lord is always over our heads, and whenever it is necessary to keep the current pure and flowing in full force, help descends from above. Krishna says to Arjuna, what I say to you today, I spoke to Vibhishan many, many years ago. Now, by the influence of material conception, that very truth has become contaminated, and so again I say the same thing to you today. Here in the material world, the material consideration is always tampering with the spiritual current. The purity of the truth is always being disturbed. So sometimes Krishna has to come himself, and sometimes he sends his personal representative to again re-establish the truth in its former and pure state. When the truth is sufficiently covered, disturbed, and mutilated by the influence of Maya, the illusory energy, then an attempt is made by the devotees of the Lord or by the Lord himself to rejuvenate it and return it to the previous standard of purity. We cannot expect truth to continue here in this world of misunderstanding without any tampering or interpretation. That is not possible. The intelligent will understand how to apply these principles practically. Suppose we're writing a history. We will note the main figures in the history, set aside those who are not so qualified, and begin the dynasty in order of their importance. Those who are negligible will not be mentioned. In a similar way, those who are really thirsty for spiritual truth like to see the line of pure spiritual heritage. They search out where it is to be found, connect the dynasty of stalwart teachers together and say, this is our line. The disciplic succession is not a bodily succession. Sometimes it is present and sometimes it is lost and only appears again after 2 or 3 generations. Just as with Prahlad Maharaj. He was a great devotee, but his son was a demon. Then again his grandson was a devotee. Even in the physical line we see such interruptions. In the spiritual line we also see the channel of truth affected by the influence of Maya or misconception. So the experts will seek out the important personages in the line. Suppose a scientist researches some truth. After a few generations, another scientist comes and takes up that thread and continues his research. Then after a few more generations, another comes and takes up that thread and goes on. If we are to understand the real channel through which the particular research is progressing, we will have to study the important thinkers who helped bring it out. We see that Copernicus had contributed something before Galileo began. Then Newton came. Then there may be a gap of some time. And from Newton we find that Einstein took it up. In this way there may be a gap. But still that thread is continued. An intelligent man will see that it began with a particular person, and then it came to another, and then came here. That will be the proper line of research. So in the spiritual line, this also holds true. Those who cannot understand this simple point are guided by physical consideration. They do not understand what is real spiritual truth. For them, the physical continuation is the Guru Parampara. But those who have their spiritual eyes awakened say, no. What was there in the first Acharya is not found in the second or the third. But again we find the same standard of purity in the fourth Acharya. The Gaudiya Sampradaya of Mahaprabhu is one, and whoever contributes to that line will be accepted. Sri Baladev Vijayabhushan's contribution to the Sampradaya is no less important than that of the other great stalwarts in the line. He may be a member of another line, the Madhva Sampradaya, in the physical sense, but his contribution, especially in attracting people to Gaudiya Vaishnavism with his commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, cannot be neglected by the students of posterity. So his contribution has been utilized by our acharyas, considering the degree, the essence, and the purity of his thought in our spiritual line. Shastra Guru, Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, and Nam Guru all are taken together. In this way, a real channel has been given to save us, to keep up the flow of the highest truth from that world to this world. This policy has been adopted by the Acharyas. Wherever we have found any contribution that is, by the will of Krishna, the highest contribution to the line, we have accepted it. So we accept Shastra Guru, Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, Mantra Guru, Nam Guru. We accept them all as our Guru. We give respect to Ramanuja, who is the head of another school of Vaishnavas, but we do not give respect to a Sahajya, an imitationist who is in the line of Mahaprabhu, only in the physical sense, but who is mutilating and tampering with the real teachings of Mahaprabhu. The imitationists are not considered. Although in a physical sense they are in the line of Mahaprabhu and Rupa and Sanatan, when we go to judge the very spirit of the line, we will see that they are nowhere. Their connection with Mahaprabhu is only a physical imitation. On the other hand, we find that Ramanuja has made such a substantial contribution to Vaishnavism. Madhva Acharya has given a sufficient contribution to Vaishnavism, and Nimbarka has also made his contribution. So we accept them according to our necessity, but we reject the physical, so-called current keepers, because what is found there is all mutilated and tampered with. There is a proverb, which is more useful, the nose or the breath? The intelligent will say that the breath is more essential than the nose. To sustain the life, the nose may be cut off, but if the breath continues, one may live. We considered the breath to have more importance than the nose. The physical form will misguide people to go away from the truth and follow a different direction. We don't consider the body connection important in the acharyaship. It is a spiritual current and not a body current. The disciple of a true devotee may even be a non-devotee. We admit that because we see it. And the Lord himself says in Bhagavad Gita, Sakaleneha Mahat Yogo Nasta Parantapa. The current is damaged by the influence of this material world. In the line, some are affected, go astray, and may even become non-devotees. So the continuation through the physical succession is not a safe criterion to be accepted. We must trace only the current of spiritual knowledge. Wherever we can get that, we must accept it, even if it comes from the Ramanuja, Madhva or Nimbarka Sampradaya. As much as we get from them substantially, we accept, and we reject the so-called followers of our own tradition if they are mere imitationists. The son of a political leader may not be a political leader. A political leader may also have a political succession, and his own son, although brought up in a favorable environment, may be rejected. A doctor's son may not become a doctor. In the disciplic order also, we admit the possibility that they may not all come up to the same standard. Those who do not should be rejected. And if the truth is found in a substantial way somewhere else, that should be accepted. Wherever there is devotion and the correct consideration about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, our Guru is there. Guru. Who is our Guru? He is not to be found in the physical form. Our Guru is to be traced wherever we find the embodiment of the pure thought and understanding which Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu imparted to save us. Baladev Vijabhushan was very akin to the Madhva Sampradaya, but when he came in connection with Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur, he showed great interest in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. He has also commented on the Srimad Bhagavatam and Jiva Goswami's Satsandarbha, and that enlightened thought is a valuable contribution to our Sampradaya. We cannot dismiss him. He is our Guru. At the same time, if my own relatives do not give recognition to my Guru or to the service of Mahaprabhu, I must eliminate them. Not physically, that doesn't mean you should eliminate them physically. It means from your consideration. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada has explained the Shikshu Guru Parampara in this way. Wherever we find the extraordinary line of the flow of love of God and support for the same, we must bow down. That line may appear in a zigzag way, but still, that is the line of my Gurudev. In this way it is accepted. We want the substance, not the form. We have left all social concerns and so many other shackles. For what? For the absolute truth. And wherever I shall find that, I must bow down my head. And if a great soul shows us, this is the path to where you will find your thirst quenched, the line is in this zigzag way. We should accept that for our own interest. We are worshippers not of form, but of substance. If the current of spiritual substance comes another way, but I think that I must try to go this way to reach my goal, it is only jealousy, blind tenacity to stick to the physical thing. We must free ourselves from this material contamination and try to understand the value of spiritual truth. We should always be prepared for that. We must follow what is necessary for our own interest. So we see that in the world, especially in the world of spiritual thought, of theism, most people are unable to distinguish the form and the substance. They think the form is the all in all. You can't see what is the form and what is the substance. They call that, sometimes throw out the baby with the bathwater. So we have to be able to mark what is the actual substance of the thing and see where that is flowing. It is not like, for example, the Catholic Church. When the Pope dies, they have to have a new Pope before, like, the end of the week, or then all the cardinals, they all go into conclave and they all decide, yes, he should be the one out of a number of candidates, and then they burn some smoke. If the smoke comes white, it means they've chosen a new Pope. But Popeism is not Vaishnavism. There's no necessity for that. What that means, the continuation of the body. The continuation of the body of the Catholic Church requires a Pope. But the continuation of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya doesn't require a Pope. It requires the substance to be manifest. And that substance is very difficult to distinguish that between the form and the substance. The form, because the substance is also couched within a particular form. But the thing is not to mistake one for the other. So just like we can say, for a very crude example, that if a man comes to your door dressed as a police officer, generally you will accept, oh, he's a police officer. But someone who's a little bit more savvy, they'll say, can I see your warrant card, please? Can I see your identification? That actually proves you're that. Not just accepting that he's wearing the uniform, he pulled up in the school, it must be the police. But most of us won't even think that. We'll just say, oh yeah, a police officer. Yes, officer, what can I do? So you have to be careful of that. Maybe he's coming in your house to rob you. That happens sometimes. So we have to be very exacting in our appreciation of the truth. So then Guru Maharaj continues, I'm not a servant of A, B, C, or D. I am a servant of Mahaprabhu. I may have to turn this way or that way, or whatever way will be favorable to reach my Lord. Wherever I feel the presence of my Lord in an intense form, I must be attracted to that side. We are out for that thing, and not for any fashion or formality that will hamper our cause. Krishna says, Sarvadharmam purityajya mamekam sharanam braja. Wherever we shall find him, we must run in that direction. The direction may not be always straight. It may go in a zigzag way. But if Krishna comes from that side, then I must run there. Again, if he appears on this side, I must run to that side. My interest is with him, not that we can challenge. Why did Krishna appear here and why is he appearing there? That may be a doubtful thing. So I must stay on this side. No. If I have a genuine appreciation for the real thing, the proper thing, I must go to that side, the side of Krishna. If I'm blind, that's another case. Then I must have to suffer from my inability. But if anyone has the ability to understand things properly, he will run wherever he finds help. If a man in a boat is passing through the current and finds himself in danger, then from whatever side help may come, he must turn to that side. If we are worshippers of Shiva, when we understand the special superiority of Narayan, should we stick to Shiva? And if we are worshippers of Narayan and are shown the superiority of Krishna, should we stick to our Narayan worship? And then, should we not try to go from Krishna's Bhagavad Gita to Krishna of Sriman Bhagavatam? One may think, I've read the Bhagavad Gita. I like Krishna, who is the speaker of the Gita. Then when Srimad Bhagavatam is given to us, should we stick to the Gita Krishna? Or should we try to go to the Krishna given in Srimad Bhagavatam? If we have our interest in Krishna, we must run to his side wherever he appears. In Brihad Bhagavatamrita, the story is told of how Gopakumar, by chanting his Gopal mantra, gradually leaves one stage and progresses to the next. There the gradation of devotion is traced from the Karmakanda Brahmin to a devotee king, then to Indra, then to Brahma, then to Shiva, from him to Prahlad, then to Hanuman, then the Pandavas, then the Jadavas, to Uddhava, and finally to the gopis. In this zigzag way he is passing. In the sincerity of his quest, his thirst is not being quenched. He is going from this side to that side and going up. So all of them have their Guru Parampara. There is Prahlad's Guru Parampara, Hanuman's Guru Parampara, the Pandavas' Guru Parampara, Mahadev's Guru Parampara. They have their own Guru Parampara. Brahma and Mahadev are gurus themselves. They are the creators of their own lines of Guru Parampara. But Gopakumar passes them also. Why? Because his thirst is not quenched until he goes to Vrindavan. So the Brihad Bhagavatamrita has shown us the line of Guru Parampara, or the real line of our quest, of our search. If we are sincerely searching after real truth, then wherever we go may be a contribution to our experience for further preaching in the future. If we go somewhere hoping with all sincerity that our thirst may be quenched there, but find that it is not quenched and feel some uneasiness, then by the grace of the Lord, a connection with a higher truth will come, and we will go somewhere else, thinking that there our thirst will be quenched. Gradually we will again find dissatisfaction, the need for something higher, and again we will progress further. In this way we may cross many Guru Paramparas before ultimately attaining to the Braja Leela of Krishna, as given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are not interested in fashion or form. If we want the real truth, then wherever it will be found, we must accept it. Mahaprabhu says, Kiba Bipra Kibra Nyasi Shudra Kenenai. Ye Krishna Tatva Veta say Guru Hoy. Anyone, regardless of caste or social position, may become Guru if he knows the science of Krishna. Sometimes the father may not be our guardian. Our uncle may be our guide, and not the father. It is possible. The line of interest is to be considered the most important. So our line is the Shiksha Guru Parampara. I am thankful to those that are helping my spiritual understanding, not only in a formal way, but in the real sense. Whoever is untying the knots of our entanglement in this material world, giving us light and quenching our thirst for inner understanding and satisfaction, is our Guru. In this way, we live on the contribution of all these spiritual masters. They are all our Shiksha Gurus. All the Vaishnavas are more or less our instructing spiritual masters. Our spiritual life may live on their contribution, but we do not accept the imitationists. They are our enemies, asatsanga, bad association. They will take us away from the real path of understanding and progress. We must ask our sincere heart, from whom do I really get the benefit of spiritual life? Our sincere consciousness will be the best judge, not the form. If in an earthen pot there is Ganges water, and in a golden pot there is ordinary water, which should we select? In a case like that, Brahmins, the intelligent class of men, take the holy Ganges water in the earthen pot. So the substance contained and not the container should be given the real importance. I am not this physical body. My own physical identification should be challenged if I am too much addicted to the physical Guru Parampara. Who am I? Am I this physical body? If I am spiritual, then in the spiritual sphere I shall have to look with spiritual eyes and pursue whoever will come before me who is really following the path of Mahaprabhu. When the Pandavas retired to the Himalayas, Yudhishthira Maharaj was going ahead. Nobody believed they would fall. Arjun couldn't believe that his brothers had fallen. But even after Arjun had fallen, a dog was going on, following Maharaj Yudhishthira. We may see many men fall down on the path of our journey towards the spiritual goal, but still we should try to reach the goal. And with the help of whoever comes along, I shall go. Some may be eliminated. Even a Madhyamadikari Guru may sometimes be eliminated when he falls down. It is not a happy thing, but it may even occur that my Guru was going ahead, taking me forward, and then fell down. Then with a fresh energy, invoking the help of the Lord, I shall have to go on. Even such a disaster may come in our journey, but still we must not be cowed down. Sometimes alone, and sometimes with company, we must go on. First there must be sukriti, accumulated merit, and then shraddha, faith, will guide us. The quality of faith must be examined. Shraddha, or faith, is a general term, but shraddha may be defined into different classes. A high form of faith will be our fare on the way back to Godhead. Sometimes we may find co-workers, and sometimes we may have to go alone. What of that? We cannot but go to the goal, because we shall have the grace of so many unseen gurus. There are others also who are working, and their ideal will inspire me, although physically I am not seeing any companion or any followers with me. The inspiration of the unseen gurus will be our fare. They will inspire us to go on with the journey, and our own sincere hankering for the truth will be our real guide. That is Guru Parampara. Who is Guru? Is Guru a body? Or is the Guru a Vairagi, a renunciate? Or is the Guru only a formal guise, a hypocrite who is showing the appearance of a sadhu, but within is doing something else? Who is a Guru? Only one who will exclusively guide me to Krishna and Mahaprabhu with devotion. He is my Guru, whatever he may be. Mahaprabhu told Ramananda Rai, Ramananda, why do you shrink away? Do you think that I am a sannyasi and you're a grihastha? You're always hesitating to reply to my questions. Do you think it doesn't look well for you to advise a sannyasi Brahmin? Don't hesitate. You know Krishna best. Give Krishna to me. Have courage. In this way, Mahaprabhu was encouraging Ramananda. By the grace of Krishna, you have that capital. Give it to me. You are a real capitalist. I have come to preach to the world that you are the wealthiest capitalist of the spiritual world. And that must be used for the good of the public. Don't hesitate. Don't shrink away. Come out. Ramananda said, yes, it is your capital. You have deposited it with me. And today you have come to withdraw it from me. It is your property, I understand. And you press and push me to take it out. All right. I am a mere instrument used by you. Whatever you want me to say, I am ready to say. In this way, Ramananda was going on. But is Ramananda a member of a sampradaya? We are so much indebted to Ramananda Rai, but he is not in the Guru Parampara. Still, he is more than many of the Gurus who are in the Guru Parampara. Srimati Radharani is not in the Guru Parampara. Should we dismiss her? First, there should be Guru, and then there is the question of Parampara. The question of first importance is, who is Guru? And then there can be a chain of them coming down. Sometimes the formal must be left aside. Once, Alexander the Great was with his father, and they came upon a chariot with a thick knot tied in its rope. There was an inscription above the knot, and there it was written, whoever can untie this knot will be a great king in the future. The young Alexander asked his father, what is it, Papa? His father replied, oh, this knot has been firmly tied here, and there it is written that whoever can loosen it will be a great king in the future. Alexander said, I shall do it. He took out his sword and he cut the rope. Is it clear? The formality was not kept. A man stood by the side. He came out and said, yes, he will be a great king. It cannot be otherwise. The formality was left aside. The realistic view taken, and immediately Alexander cut the Gordian knot. It is a famous story. Sticking to formality, he would have been lost. This happened also in the case of Columbus. Someone challenged, can you make an egg stand on a nail? Columbus pushed it in, and a portion broke, and he stood it on the nail and said, yes, I've done so. This is practical knowledge. So the real disciplic line provides practical knowledge in support of the divine love which is coming down. We must bow down our heads wherever we find support of that. We should not become formalists, but substantialists, not fashionists, but not imitationists, but realistic thinkers. That should always be our temperament. All right, we'll stop there today. So, does anyone have a question about that?
Sometimes you see the form of Guru is so powerful that you like to give him respect and all that, and you do it, you know. But that Guru has got a power that attracts you too much to you, you know. And I feel like I might have Govinda Maharaj, this, that. And I used to tell Maharaj, if I done any offense, please forgive me. He said, you and offense don't go together, he said. So, did I do offense? I got attracted so much, you know.
No, Guru is a very difficult subject. Guru Maharaj said 4 tattvas, or truths, they're not possible to fully understand by the intellect. One is Nam Tattva. That means how the name of Krishna and Krishna are one and the same. This is a very difficult, subtle thing. We are chanting the name of Krishna, but we are not feeling Krishna. We are not feeling ecstasy. We are doing, you know, our japa is like a chore, but we are doing. With faith we are doing that. But we are not if Krishna's and Krishna's name are the same, then when we say the name of Krishna, immediately we should feel ecstasy, isn't it? But we are not, because Krishna and Krishna's name, they are the same, but the mere syllable of the name is not the name. Just by, the sound is not the name. It is what is within that, which is actually Krishna. So to be able to understand that, you cannot fully understand by the intellect. Secondly, the second tattva, that is Dham Tatwa. Dham Tatwa, how the holy Dham, like Vrindavan or Navadvip, how that is identical with Goloka, with the Vaikuntha plane. When we go there and we see, so many pigs running and so many people trying to cheat you and and then how we can understand that is the same as Vaikuntha when we see all these things. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he said, like there's a gossamer layer that covers the Dham, and below that layer is the real Dham, and mostly everyone is floating on the top. They're not actually penetrating into the Dham proper. But still we are told that it is Vrindavan in Uttar Pradesh in India is no different from Goloka Vrindavan in the spiritual world. So we cannot understand that intellectually fully. We may be able, by faith we can appreciate, but how we can reconcile that intellectually, we cannot. And then next is Shiva Tatwa, that the position of Lord Shiva, Mahadev, how he is one and the same with the Lord, how Lord Shiva is non-different with Mahavishnu, but at the same time different. So some explanation given in Brahma Samhita, like milk and yogurt. That both are, no, you can't say that yogurt isn't milk, but it is milk that's been transformed. Never can the yogurt be transformed back into milk again. So in Brahma Samhita it's told that when Krishna or Mahavishnu, when he glances over the material world to impregnate the material world with the jiva souls, through the agency of Durga, excuse me, that glance is Shiva. Shiva is the master of Durga, as we know. But also there's the form of Shiva, Sada Shiva is the devotee Shiva in the Vaikuntha plane. And also there's the form of Shiva as a gopi in Vrindavan also. So many different aspects of Lord Shiva. And then in this world, there's Rudra Shiva, the destroyer. So then how to reconcile all of these things, that is also not possible, like fully possible intellectually. And the fourth principle is Guru Tatva. So how Guru and Krishna are the same. Krishna says, Acharya mam vijanayat. Navaman yeta karhichit. He tells Uddhava in the 11th canto, never think that the Guru is just an ordinary person, because everything that's godly exists in him. And I am the Acharya, Krishna says, I am the Acharya. So, but we don't take our Acharya and put a peacock feather in his hair and give him a flute in his hand and say, no, you're Krishna, right? So we don't do that, because he's Shakshad Hari, that he is the most beloved of Krishna, the greatest servitor of Krishna. But Guru Maharaj said, Guru means the inspired side of a Vaishnava. He has that side, the human side, the Vaishnava side. Maybe he has some illness, some defect in his eyesight, or whatever it may be. But the inspired side, that which is flowing through him, that is Krishna. The inspired side of the Vaishnava. And naturally, the disciple, or those who receive grace from that Vaishnava, they will revere him as their Guru. But what Guru Maharaj is saying, don't make the mistake of thinking that that's all Guru is. He's the picture on the mantelpiece, or he's even that person walking down the road that he's more than that. He's more than that. But he may also come to you in another form. Like you are always telling how You met Prabhupada back in the 1970s, and then later after he disappeared, and you're like, oh, where is Prabhupada? And then when Srila Govinda Maharaj came, your feeling was, oh, here is Prabhupada, because you recognized in him the same current flowing through him. So it is not that we think that Srila Govinda Maharaj was the incarnation of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami or something like that. He's a completely different, distinct person. We also don't think that Srila Govinda Maharaj, although Guru Maharaj deposited his entire spiritual wealth in him, we don't think he's Guru Maharaj reincarnated. He's his own person in his own right. But what flows through him, that's what we mark. And that's what we worship, and that's what we adore. But as a result of that, every other part of him is also worshipable to us. His shoe, his cane, his everything, isn't it? We worship all of that. But we should not think that just the physical person is the guru. What is the substance? His teaching, Vani and Vapu. We spoke about this the other day. That the Vani that flows through the guru, that is the all-important thing. And Vapu is secondary to that, but also worshipable to us. So this is one truth that you cannot fully harmonize intellectually. He is Krishna, but he is also simultaneously not Krishna. He's the dearmost of Krishna. But just because somebody says, oh, I'm Guru, and puts on a red cloth and sits on a big chair, doesn't mean that they're Krishna. What we will have to see, what are they saying? What is coming from them? And there it will be necessary for us to differentiate between the form and the substance. So sometimes they say, right, if Guru says, if Guru says that if you see a rope and Guru says it's a snake, then it's a snake. And if you see a snake and Guru says no, it's a rope, it's a rope. But I say that long time ago our Guru taught us what's the difference between a rope and a snake. He gave us some ability to be able to see for ourselves. Yeah, this is a rope, this is a snake. So it's not that that all those years with Gurudev, like 25 plus years, hearing from Gurudev, there's all nothing. He gave something to us. And with that wealth, we have to continue our spiritual life. Can't abdicate our spiritual life to another person. That is, cowardice. Like Gurudev said, as I mentioned the other day. He said, when Guru Maharaj was present here, I felt like I can jump off the top of Gauranga Setu, the bridge in Navadvip, and Guru Maharaj will protect me. But now Guru Maharaj is gone, now I know the responsibility has to stop with me. And that's not just him, that's all of us. When, in the absence of our physical presence of our Guru, we have to now be responsible for our own spiritual life. We have to stand up and be counted. And we have to be able to draw on those things that he taught us. So that, and here we are doing that. We see, so much wealth in these books. Yes, Dr.
I've asked the question before, but just for the class, So, the importance is on the shiksha. Then what is the point of taking initiation if it's all shiksha? Because so many people come here every week, so many people listen to you online. So.
Diksha means the imparting of Divya Gyan. Generally, Shiksha and Diksha are the same. Generally, our Diksha Guru is also our Shiksha Guru, generally. But not always. For example, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Diksha Guru is Bipin Bihari Goswami. But he's not in our Guru Parampara. We don't see his picture in our Guru Parampara, do we? Because substantially, Bhaktivinoda Thakur felt that substantially his spiritual wealth came from Jagannath Das Babaji. He accepted him substantially, but he never disrespected Bipin Bihari Goswami. In fact, he mentions him in many of his books. But the substance came through, he felt, came through Jagannath Das Babaji.
What is the point of initiation?
Everyone must have initiation because that's the imparting of Divya Gyan to the disciple. So that the holy name of the Lord has to come through Guru Parampara. It has to be given by somebody. So, and the giving of that is Diksha. So then, if you claim a real connection with Sampradaya, you might have to have Diksha. And of course people say, oh, it says in the scripture that the holy name doesn't wait for Diksha and all these things. But that's the exception, not the rule. The rule is that you have to receive initiation from a spiritual master. And if you're fortunate, that spiritual master will also be your Shiksha Guru. Your Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru. But no Guru in our Parampara didn't receive Diksha from some Vaishnava. They all receive. Even Mahaprabhu himself received. Even Krishna himself received Diksha from Sandipani Muni. So it's not, he's showing the example. Krishna doesn't need to take initiation from anybody, but he's showing this is the proper way of receiving divine knowledge through Guru Parampara. But
is it only to take initiation to get the knowledge?
no, I mean Dibya Gyan means spiritual knowledge, not just Gyan,
Yeah,
Dibya Gyan. But it means that that's imparted from the Guru to the disciple. It doesn't necessarily mean book learning or that. It means the inner inspiration of how to serve Krishna. Because the service of Lord Krishna must always be under the direction of a Vaishnava. Always. Even in Goloka Vrindavan, everyone has their master or mistress there who's instructing them. This is your service. This is how you serve Krishna. No one is directly serving Krishna. Maybe Srimati Radharani is directly serving Krishna. But otherwise, everyone has some master who's serving them, or who they serve rather, who's teaching them, instructing them, is the hierarchy, and it is the proper way. That's why Krishna says in the Gita, Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekyanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshana. You have to learn the truth by approaching a bona fide spiritual master. And why is Krishna saying that to Arjuna when he's Arjuna's spiritual master already, directly? He's Arjuna's spiritual master. So he's telling him that because he's setting this is the proper method. This is the method by which I distribute myself. Through Guru Parampara. So, in one sense it's a formality, but it's a necessary formality. It's like a necessary, you may be able to drive a car, right? But it's necessary for you to go through the formality of taking the test and getting your they won't give you a license unless you pass the test, isn't it? So it may be a formality as, I've been driving cars, I know I had to drive cars better than anyone. It may be true. But you won't be recognized as being a proper driver until you pass your test and have your license, full license. So something like that. You have to be recognized by Guru Parampara. Yes, this is a genuine student. This is our certificate to him. But certificate is not enough. It's only recommendation. It's only the beginning. It's only like your acceptance letter. I said before, like if you get accepted into like Oxford University, and they'll send you a letter. We're very happy to invite you to come and study history or philosophy or whatever it is at Oxford University. So, justifiably, if you've been accepted there, because it's very difficult to be accepted there. When my daughter was looking to go to university, the representatives from Oxford and Cambridge, they came. And basically they told them, unless you're like 100% committed to this and nothing else, you won't be accepted. You can't have any other interest except the university and graduating from the university. Then we'll accept you, but otherwise not. You go some other university. So their criteria is very high. So if you get a letter from them, yes, we've accepted you as a student here, you may be justifiably proud of that. Maybe you'll put it in a frame and put it on the wall in your house, you know. People will come, oh, you were accepted into Oxford University. Yes, I was accepted. And what did you study? Oh, I didn't go. That was enough for me. Just the letter was enough for me. But if you take that letter to an employer and say, look, I was accepted as a student at Oxford, they'll say, well, where's your degree then? That's what we want to see, not the acceptance letter. We want to see your degree, what kind of degree you got. Then we can consider you for the post. No, I got accepted. So it's the same, initiation is like that. Your acceptance letter, you've been accepted to study in the school of Vedavyas, you can say. The school of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the school of Rupa Goswami. But just that in itself isn't enough. You have to then actually attend. You know? It's like at Christmas time, right? After Christmas, in the New Year, that so many people buy gym memberships, don't they, right? That's my New Year's resolution. I'm going to get fit. I'm going to go to the gym. They have a huge uptake in memberships in the gym. But how many people with that gym actually go to the gym? Just by having a membership isn't going to make you fit. You have to actually go and do the work. So similarly, just by being initiated is not enough. You have to then do the work that goes along with that. Make the commitment.
In 91, Menapak, I used to observe him, 92, 93, 90. Then in 96, I went to Navadip and took my initial. And Sagar Maharaj got the message. So when I go to Saturday, oh, Sagar Maharaj, Gurudev told me Veda to be Veda. You ask any Veda really. But I got to start it after that.
Yeah, so that's the start. But it is necessary.
Yes, to look at
it is necessary if you're serious about spiritual life. You must accept initiation from a genuine spiritual master. Krishna says that in the Gita. That's what that verse means. Tadvidi pranipatena. So then, there isn't any other way. There isn't any other way. In this line, general spirituality, all the rest of it, you can have. But if you're serious about spiritual life, you have to accept a spiritual master and try to serve Krishna under their direction. No other way. So yes,
you said earlier that a lot of people can't distinguish between form and substance. So, if a disciple is one of those people, and his Gurudev was his fiction Siksha, and he's no longer present, what is supposed to do? What's their situation?
Well, I mean, that's the thing, you see. Guru Maharaj said, in the absence of my Guru, should I wish to live a peaceful life? So now the testing time will come. How much am I actually a disciple? Is it just in profession? You know, just a flag, waving a flag, yes, I'm the disciple of such and such. Or has his teachings actually taken root in your heart? That's the question. And he said, and the disciple will be put into the fire of ordeal. At that time, his faith will be tested. And not just once, but again and again. He said, just like the swordsmith, when he makes the sword, he has to put the metal into the fire. Then he takes it out and he beats it. And then again, it puts it in the water, and then again in the fire. And this way, the expert swordsmith knows. But many times that blade has to go in the fire to become forged. So he says, so similarly, the disciple must go through the fire of ordeal. And not all will come out the other side. But those who do, their faith will be forged like steel. It will be unbreakable, indomitable. So now the testing time has come. And this is what Gurudev meant when he said, when Guru Maharaj is present, I feel I can jump off Garanga Setu Bridge. Because he's there to catch me. And Gurudev said, if I do wrong or if I do right, Guru Maharaj is accepting all of that. But now Guru Maharaj isn't in my front anymore. Now I have to stand up and be counted. If I do wrong, I'll be judged on that. If I do right, I will also be judged on that. So then the question will come, am I just a formalist? Do I just accept the form, or am I interested in the substance? And that examination will come to everyone. And those who are only formalists, they'll be left by the wayside. Sad to say, but that's how it is. They'll go on in a formal way. Yes, this way I'll go on. And with my society, with my club, my whatever it is. But the actual, what is we've come for, that we must never forget. What did we come to Krishna for? What did we come to Krishna consciousness for? That we must always re-examine that. Why I came. And am I still continuing with that? Or did I just get complacent and comfortable in my position that I'm in and I'll just cruise on through for the rest of my life? No. Okay, if that's all you're going to do, then do that. But the sincere disciple, the progressive disciple, he will want to go deeper and find what is the substance within him or her. That is necessary for us. So, yeah, it's true. If I'm only interested in the form, you see, it's not about the guru; it's about the disciple. When Lord Brahma, he's the guru. He's guru, and he has some disciples are devas, and some disciples are asura. Then one disciple asked him, "Who am I?" They asked this question, and Lord Brahma's response was, "You are Atma. You are Atma." So Atma is a tricky word in Sanskrit. So the Devatas, when they heard this reply, they concluded, "Oh, I am spirit. I am spirit." But the Asuras, hearing that same reply, they believed, "Oh, I am the body." Because Atma may also mean body. So, "Oh, I am the body." So same guru, same answer, but according to the receiver of that, how they will understand it. That's the all-important thing. So we shall try to be a good receiver. That's what Gurudev said. The most important thing you can do is to be a good receiver. That demands of us something. Demands of us some humility, tolerance, to give honor to others, not to expect any honor or respect for ourselves, and to be sincere. We have to be sincere in our endeavor. Guru Maharaj said, nobody can cheat me unless I'm in the market to be cheated. And that's the problem, you see, that we're always, one tendency of human is self-deception. To think that what I'm doing is right and proper, and we're actually deceiving ourselves. You can deceive everyone, but if you deceive yourself, then you're lost. So, to your own self, you have to be true. This is the all-important thing. And if we are sincere, we will be successful. But even that, we have to be careful. When someone asks Guru Maharaj, because, there's an American comedian, Steve Martin. He said, sincerity is the key to success in life. If you can fake that, you've got it made. That was his joke, So that's it. You can fake being sincere too. So someone asked Guru Maharaj, how can I be sincere? And I don't know what they were hoping Guru Maharaj would say, but Guru Maharaj's reply was, simply by being sincere. There's no magic formula, there's no magic wand. Either you are or you aren't sincere. And only you know that. If you examine yourself, am I sincere or not sincere? And if I'm not sincere, then how can I be sincere? Somebody said to Guru Maharaj, I can't pray, Guru Maharaj. I don't find it within myself to be able to pray. And Guru Maharaj said, then try to pray to be able to pray. So from wherever you are, try and go forward. We may be the worst, we may be the most disqualified, but everyone has some element within them that's going towards perfection, that's going towards the reality. Let's try and find that within us and foster that. Then we'll be okay. To stop my talk here today. Jai Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. Rupanuga Guru Bhagya ki jai. Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswata Acharya Vrinda ki jai. Samadeta Vaishnava Mandali ki jai. Kol Kartel ki jai. Sri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi.